Hey YouTube, this is Quentin and I'm back with a review of the Google Nexus 7, the second generation. The new Nexus 7 second generation has a 1920 by 1200 IPS HD display that brings it at 323 pixels per inch, and it is 1080p. A 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, a 5 megapixel rear-facing camera, Android 4.3 Jelly Bean, 16 or 32 gigabytes of internal storage, dual band Wi-Fi at 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, and at 802.11 A, B, G, and N. The prices for the Nexus 7 is $229 for the 16 gigabyte model, $269 for the 32 gigabyte model, and $349 for the future 32 gigabyte LTE model, which will be on T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. Okay, let's have a look at the Nexus 7. It's a very slim device, feels real good in the hand, much better than the previous version Nexus. You can grip it in one hand, at least I can, and I have big hands, but even for people with smaller hands, I think it would not be that much of a problem. What I really like about it is the thin bezel on the side. I've heard some people say that they wish the bezel was thin all the way around, but I kind of like it this way because you can hold it when you're playing games or watching videos. The back has a rubberized material, which feels real nice, and it has the Nexus logo and Asus. It has two speakers, a pair or a split speaker on the bottom, which are USB charging jack, and then a whole speaker on the top, which are 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And here's your 5 megapixel rear facing camera, your power and your volume rocker, and your microphone. Battery life is really great on this tablet also. I think the official word is 8 or 9 hours. I think 9 hours of time. But off and on, if you don't use it a lot, you can get a lot more out of it. Right now I'm at 76%, and I've been off the charger for 1 day and 8 hours. But admittedly, I haven't been on a lot of screen time. I haven't been on the tablet that long. But the standby time is really long on this tablet. And generally, with heavy use, I've still gotten through the day on this tablet. And it's really nice. Good battery life. As you can see, the desktop or the home screen, when you rotate it, it rotates, and you have your dock on the side versus on the bottom. And that's probably how they intended it. I don't really mind it, but it seems to operate a lot smoother. Before on the Nexus, the previous Nexus 7 didn't seem to operate as smooth when you rotated it in landscape mode, but it's operating a lot better with 4.3, and I really like it. Now I'm going to have a take a look at the camera, which I don't use a lot, admittedly, but just to give you an idea. And it's Android 4.3 interface, just like on my S4 Google Edition. You know, you have your little arc, if you can see that, where you can rotate to your front camera like so, and then you see me kind of duck behind the camera, and then you can go back and rotate to your rear facing camera, and you can change other settings. You can go to more options like so, and then do your exposure, HDR, whatnot. You can go over here and do your panorama, your photosphere, that's your video, and then back to your camera. But a typical Android camera, and it's okay. Without a flash, you'll need a lot of light. So, and if you can really get it to focus and have some light, it's not that bad. But, you know, being that it's small, it's kind of neat. But anyway, when you take a picture, you know, you can, if you don't want it, you can, of course, on Android, if you've seen before, you can just kind of swipe it away like so. You know, and some of the pictures are not that bad, actually. And then you can just go back to your camera. And that's just a little bit overview of the camera. Okay, another thing that I wanted to really show you that I really think is neat is the wireless charging functionality on this tablet. Right here I have my Nexus 4 charging dock or pad or whatever you want to call it. It's a Qi charger, and you can use this with any other Qi charger. I just happen to have the one from my Nexus 4. But just to give you an example, it sticks just on this charger, just like the Nexus 4, and see if it works. You gotta kind of finagle it, or if that's a word, but you know, kind of jiggle it a little bit, as you can see, and it just picked it up, and now it's charging, and it works pretty good. I mean, I have it set on Daydream, the clock, so when I put it on here and it's charging, it'll go to the clock. But that's a pretty neat thing to have it do with the Qi charging, and you can use a third party as long as it's a Qi charger. But I just happen to have this Nexus 4 charger, and it works really well, and you can put this on your nightstand. It's pretty cool. And there you go. You can see I have the Daydream with the clock, and you can set Daydream up with other applications also. Like let's find another application. I think you can do Beautiful Widgets also, or Beautiful Widgets is an app I like to use. But here's Daydream. You go to Daydream, and these are all applications that you can run with Daydream. Right now I have the clock because it's the least battery consuming, and it'll charge faster. But you can see you can do Flipboard. I have an app called Photo Frame. It just depends on your app what you want to use with Daydream. But anyway, that's wireless charging or through a Qi type charger on the Nexus 4. Not sure if or Nexus 7, excuse me. And I'm not sure if they're going to come out with a Nexus 7 Qi charging pad. I haven't heard anything, so you might have to just get a third party one. But if you have a Nexus 4, or if you still have the Nexus 4 Qi charger, you can use that with the Nexus 7, which is pretty cool. One neat thing about this tablet is the display. The display is excellent, and it's probably the best looking display I've seen on a tablet I've had to this date, even the iPad. One of the things I like doing on this tablet is reading, so it really makes it a good experience. The text is real crisp and clear, and it's just a nice experience. The color reproduction to me, is just as good as the iPad, if not better. The previous high resolution Android tablet, which is the Nexus 10, was really good, but this is even better, and it's a really big advantage, and I really like it. And I think you'll like it too. And as with the previous versions of Android, or Jelly Bean I should say, you have Google Now, and you can just press on the home screen and swipe up to access it, and it has your cards of different things or stuff you searched or stuff you ordered will pop up. You do a quick search for something. What's the population of Atlanta, Georgia?
The population of Atlanta was 432,400 in 2011.
So that's pretty neat. Who is the current coach for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Andy Reid is head coach of Kansas City Chiefs.
So it's pretty neat. I always like Google Now. You can do a lot of other stuff with this, searching places to eat, a whole bunch of things. It's just really neat with it. Okay, I'm going to attempt to play one of my games on this tablet in front of the camera, which isn't the easiest. And you notice the speakers are really loud. The back two speakers, stereo speakers, and it works really well. But it's just a simple racing game, which I'm not very good at. And actually, I think this is just the trial. But it gives you a good idea of the performance. It's really good. And I don't even think the graphics are up to par with this tablet can handle. Maybe if they upgrade it, but pretty neat gaming experience. And I have better games that even are better than this. But it's just a simple game just to show you, the performance of the Nexus 7. The video and the graphics performance is really good, but anyway, that's just a brief view of the game. Not the best demo, but like I said, I don't play a lot of games on my tablet, but I'll probably start because I really enjoy it on this tablet because it looks real good. Here's the Nexus 7 lock screen, second generation lock screen, pretty much the same, whereas you can add widgets to your lock screen. As you can see, I have Google Now right here, and I have a widget called Beautiful Widgets. I also have my music. You can also add several different other widgets. App developers are slowly adding functionality where you can add their widgets to the lock screen, but there's still not a lot, but it's getting there. But really neat function of Android 4.3 and 4.2.2 also. Okay, here's a quick look, another look at the interface, I should say. You have your typical two panes, just like on a previous version of Android. Your one notification pane, and then your other pane where you can access your settings, long press and turn off your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, airplane mode, auto rotate. You can adjust your brightness, check the battery, go into settings, and you can see settings is pretty similar as before, being the only difference is you have a multi-user, and this multi-user support has been in since I think 4.2.2. But you can add users, if you can add your kids and block certain things that you don't want them to see, which is pretty cool. And if you want to share this tablet with somebody, you can also use the multi-user support. But pretty much the same typical stock Android look. You go around, you can go into your storage right here, and you can see I have the 32 gigabyte model, and when it ships, I mean at least for the 32 gigabyte model, you only have about 26.4 gigabytes of storage, which is actually a lot. You know, and I think on a 16 gig model, you'll have about 13. So with the operating system and the stock apps, it doesn't take up a lot of space like other tablets that might have TouchWiz on them, or HTC Sense, or whatever other tablets that have carrier skins. You can go into your app drawer, just like before, by pressing this center icon, and it's the typical card stack animation. Very smooth, depending on how you want to operate it. If you jerk it like so, it just jerks along. But if you kind of swipe it smoothly, it's real smooth. This is how I prefer to do it. Seems to run better, and I just like the way it looks. And you can also, typically just drag an application, long press it, drag it to the screen like so. Long press it again and swipe it up if you don't want it. If you want to add a widget, pretty much the same thing. And the widgets will resize themselves to fit the area that you put it in, like so. Wherever you want to put it, you can see it moves it to accommodate, where the apps are or whatever widgets you may have. So, familiar Android 4.2.2 at least. I think all the way from Jelly Bean started, it's had that feature. But just giving you an idea, if anyone has never used it, I thought I'd just show it. Overall, this is a really neat tablet, and I really think you'll like it. It's a big improvement over the previous Nexus 7. It has great resolution, and it's great for playing games and reading books. Anyway, I know I probably left something out. If anything you want to know about this tablet, just leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching my video, and have a nice day.